The Tesla Cybertruck, once celebrated as a groundbreaking vision of automotive innovation, is now grappling with a series of setbacks that have sparked widespread recalls and international rejection. In the United States, Tesla's home market, the company was forced to pull back nearly 7,000 of these angular, futuristic vehicles due to a critical design flaw. The stainless steel trim panels, which give the Cybertruck its distinctive armored look, were secured using only adhesive rather than traditional bolts. This cost-saving decision backfired spectacularly. At the vehicle's blistering acceleration, capable of hitting 60 miles per hour in just 2.6 seconds, these panels can detach, transforming into dangerous projectiles hurtling down highways. What began as a bold attempt to streamline production has morphed into a safety nightmare, prompting a massive recall and raising questions about whether Tesla prioritized efficiency over reliability. Across the Atlantic, the Cybertruck's woes deepened as it collided with stringent European regulations. In January 2025, authorities in the United Kingdom seized one of these vehicles off the streets of Greater Manchester. The reason? Its razor-sharp edges, a hallmark of its aggressive aesthetic, failed to meet the UK's pedestrian safety standards, which mandate that all vehicle edges be rounded to at least 3.2 millimeters to minimize injury risks. The Cybertruck's unyielding, blade-like exterior was deemed a hazard in crowded urban settings. Compounding the issue, its sheer bulk, over 2.2 meters wide and weighing nearly 3.2 tons, requires drivers to hold a specialized Category C1 license, typically reserved for small trucks. This clash between futuristic design and practical law has left the Cybertruck stranded, unable to navigate the regulatory landscape of densely populated Britain. Ireland presented its own set of challenges for Tesla's behemoth. The country's narrow, winding roads, better suited to compact cars than oversized EVs, make the Cybertruck feel like an awkward intruder, akin to squeezing a shipping container through a bicycle lane. Irish law further complicates matters. A standard Category B driver's license caps vehicle weight at 3.5 tons, a limit the Cybertruck dangerously approaches. Load it with cargo or even a hearty Irish breakfast, and it could easily exceed legal thresholds, rendering it impractical for everyday use. Adding to the skepticism, memories of a 2024 recall over stuck accelerator pedals linger, casting doubt on whether this vehicle is truly equipped to handle the complexities of European road systems. Down under, Australia delivered a swift rejection, ironically deeming the Cybertruck too safe, or rather, too rigid. Its ultra-tough steel exoskeleton, designed to withstand extreme conditions, doesn't crumple in crashes like conventional cars. Instead, it transfers the full force of an impact to whatever it strikes, a significant concern in a nation teeming with wildlife like kangaroos and wombats. This rigidity turns the Cybertruck into a potential road hazard. Additionally, Australia mandates right-hand drive vehicles, but Tesla's Texas factory only produces left-hand drive models, and retooling production lines would be prohibitively costly. Out in the vast Australian outback, where Tesla might pitch the Cybertruck as an adventure vehicle, the sparse charging infrastructure leaves it vulnerable to becoming little more than a stranded, expensive metal shell if the battery runs dry. In China, the world's largest electric vehicle market, the Cybertruck hasn't been outright banned, but its presence is effectively a non-starter. The same sharp, angular design that flouted UK and Irish rules violates China's strict pedestrian safety regulations, making it an unlikely contender on Chinese roads. Though Tesla has yet to officially launch the Cybertruck there, the combination of regulatory hurdles and practical incompatibilities renders it virtually unviable. Together, these global rejections paint a picture of a vehicle whose ambitious design has outpaced the realities of international markets, leaving Tesla to contend with a growing backlash against its once heralded creation. Elon Musk, once a towering figure of admiration in the tech world, has seen his public image take a dramatic nosedive by early 2025, a shift that underscores the fragility of celebrity in the face of controversy. Back in 2017, Musk enjoyed a national approval rating of +24, buoyed by his reputation as a visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX. Fast forward to 2025, and that figure has plummeted to a stark -19, reflecting a seismic change in how Americans perceive him. This decline isn't uniform across the political spectrum. Among Democrats, his rating has cratered from a +35 to a staggering -91, a drop of over 120 points, signaling a near-total collapse of support. Independents, too, have soured, flipping from +17 to -7. Only among Republicans has Musk gained ground, with approval rising from +18 to +51. Yet even this uptick hasn't been enough to salvage his broader national standing. What sparked this precipitous fall? A mix of provocative actions and polarizing rhetoric has steadily eroded the goodwill he once commanded. A pivotal moment came at the 2025 CPAC conference, where Musk took the stage wielding an actual chainsaw, a bold, theatrical prop meant to symbolize his crusade against bloated government bureaucracy. With the tool in hand, he lambasted federal workers earning modest $50,000 salaries, painting them as inefficient and overpaid despite their struggles to afford basics like health insurance or housing. His remarks, dripping with disdain, were meant to rally the conservative crowd, but they also drew sharp criticism for their insensitivity. Musk further claimed he received death threats for his efforts to do right by American taxpayers, casting himself as a martyr in a battle against waste. Yet just 6 minutes into this fiery speech, Fox News, a network long aligned with both Musk and conservative causes, abruptly cut the live feed, leaving him mid-sentence. This unexpected move stunned viewers and hinted at cracks in even his most reliable media alliances, amplifying the sense that Musk's star was fading. The fallout didn't end there. Days later, Musk resurfaced in a cabinet meeting alongside Donald Trump, now serving as a policy advisor. Here, he touted a supposed triumph, uncovering $330 million in fraudulent loans issued by the Small Business Administration, including absurd cases like a $100,000 loan to a 9-month-old baby. While he offered no concrete evidence to back these claims, the narrative bolstered his image as a relentless foe of government excess, a waste-buster, unafraid to wield his influence. For some, this reinforced his appeal as a disruptor. For others, it deepened suspicions of grandstanding without substance. The numbers tell the broader story. His once unassailable reputation as a nonpartisan innovator has fractured, with political tribalism now defining his public persona. Republicans cheer his alignment with their values, but the steep rejection from Democrats and independents suggests Musk's foray into divisive politics has cost him the universal acclaim he once enjoyed, leaving his legacy as a tech titan increasingly overshadowed by controversy. Tesla, once the undisputed king of the electric vehicle (EV) realm, is facing a turbulent decline in its market performance, with sales faltering across key regions and its brand reputation taking a beating. In the United States, the company's stronghold, 2024 marked a troubling slide. Tesla's vehicle registrations dropped by 5% over the year, a downturn that accelerated into the first quarter of 2025 with an additional 11% decline. Meanwhile, competitors like Hyundai, Rivian, and Ford have seized the moment, posting robust growth and chipping away at Tesla's dominance. A key factor in this shift lies in the demographics of EV buyers. Only 20% of them in the U.S. identify as Republicans. As Elon Musk has increasingly tied himself to partisan conservative politics, rubbing shoulders with figures like Donald Trump and embracing right-leaning rhetoric, he's alienated the broader, more diverse customer base that once saw him as a neutral tech pioneer. What was once a brand admired for its innovation is now losing traction among those who feel disconnected from Musk's polarizing ideological stance, proving that political alignment can carry a steep cost in a market-driven industry. The troubles extend far beyond American borders, with Europe emerging as a particularly harsh battleground for Tesla's ambitions. In January 2025 alone, the company's sales across the continent plummeted by a staggering 45%, a collapse driven by a perfect storm of operational chaos and reputational damage. The seeds of this crisis were sown in late 2023, when Tesla refused to sign a labor agreement with Swedish workers, triggering widespread strikes that rippled across Scandinavia. Unions in Denmark, Norway, and Finland joined the fray, halting Tesla shipments and grinding operations to a standstill. Service centers in Sweden shuttered, while major ports in Norway and Denmark turned away Tesla's cargo, leaving the company's northern European network in disarray. The financial fallout was swift. Denmark's largest pension funds, including Akademiker Pension and Pension Danmark, dumped their Tesla holdings, Pension Danmark offloading over $58 million in stock, citing labor disputes, poor governance, and Musk's erratic behavior as reasons to blacklist the company. Tesla wasn't just losing sales, it was losing trust, a currency harder to rebuild. The European debacle is compounded by a growing consumer backlash tied directly to Musk himself. In the United Kingdom, a survey revealed that 59% of potential EV buyers outright refused to consider a Tesla, not because of the vehicle's quality, but because they didn't want their purchase to signal support for Musk's controversial persona. His outspoken attacks on European governments, from criticizing Germany's far-right politics to clashing with the UK's leadership and slamming EU environmental policies, have turned him from a green tech hero into a figure of division. In Germany and France, Tesla's market share is shrinking rapidly as brands like Volkswagen, Renault, and emerging Chinese EV makers gain ground with buyers who prioritize practicality and alignment with local values. Tesla's European sales had already dipped 10.8% by the end of 2024, 8 times worse than the broader market's decline, setting the stage for January's freefall. Caught between self-inflicted wounds and a shifting competitive landscape, Tesla faces an uphill battle to reclaim its footing in a region that once embraced its vision, but now questions its relevance. The United States in 2025 finds itself teetering on the edge of economic and political upheaval, with Donald Trump's policies and Elon Musk's influence casting long shadows over a nation grappling with uncertainty. Trump's aggressive tariff agenda, intended to revive American manufacturing, has instead unleashed chaos in financial markets. On March 15, the Dow Jones nosedived by more than 850 points, one of the worst trading days of the year, while the Nasdaq tumbled 3.1%, hammering tech stocks like Apple and Tesla, which saw declines of 5.6% and 4.8%, respectively. The S&P 500 shed 2.3%, eroding retirement savings and investor confidence, as the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield climbed to 4.9%, a red flag for looming recession fears. Economists at the Federal Reserve now peg the odds of a downturn in 2025 at 65%, driven by trade policy instability that sent unemployment creeping up to 4.6% and consumer confidence to an 18-month low. Inflation, already a sore spot at 5.2% year-over-year, has spiked further due to tariff-related cost increases, with import prices soaring 17.7% and retail giants like Walmart warning of inevitable price hikes for everyday Americans. Trump's foreign ambitions have only added fuel to the fire. His renewed push to claim Greenland as a national security priority during a March 13 meeting with NATO's Mark Rutte was met with swift rebuke from Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen, who declared the territory unequivocally off-limits. The EU and NATO rallied behind Denmark, signaling a united front against U.S. overreach and exposing the limits of Trump's strong-arm tactics. Back home, his immigration crackdown, invoking a 1798 law to deport undocumented immigrants tied to Venezuelan gangs, has split public opinion. While 55% of Americans back tighter borders, critics warn of economic fallout, with 20% of agriculture, construction, and service workers being undocumented. Mass deportations could slash GDP by 1–2% over 3 years, driving up labor costs and straining small businesses already reeling from tariff burdens. Trump's vague assurances of a transition period have done little to calm markets or voters, and even Fox News, once a loyal ally, has begun questioning his economic playbook, with reporters openly challenging the administration's claim that tariffs benefit American wallets. Elon Musk, meanwhile, has waded deeper into this turbulent mix, amplifying the stakes with his own policy gambits. His proposal to cap the National Institutes of Health (NIH) budget, limiting indirect costs to 15%, aimed to curb what he called excessive overhead. But the NIH fired back with hard data. Every dollar invested generates $2.46 in economic activity, contributing $93 billion annually to the U.S. economy. Senator Katie Britt of Alabama, a former Musk supporter, publicly opposed the cuts, arguing they'd gut medical research and sacrifice America's future, a rare break from a one-time ally. Musk's fingerprints also appear in Trump's cabinet, where he's pushed narratives of government waste, yet his influence is a double-edged sword. As Tesla struggles, its European sales crashing 45% in January amid labor strife and consumer backlash, his political meddling risks dragging his company down with the broader economic instability. Together, Trump's tariffs, territorial overreach, and immigration hardline, paired with Musk's divisive interventions, paint a picture of a nation at a crossroads, where bold leadership is testing the resilience of both markets and global alliances. Elon Musk and Tesla are navigating a storm of unprecedented challenges in 2025, as the once unassailable duo confronts a collision of bold innovation, shifting public perception, and a fiercely competitive global landscape. Musk, who rose to fame as a trailblazing entrepreneur revolutionizing transportation and space exploration, has seen his reputation undergo a dramatic transformation. Where he was once hailed as a visionary unbound by politics, his recent plunge into partisan waters, aligning with conservative figures and wielding influence in Trump's administration, has recast him as a divisive lightning rod. This shift has come at a steep cost to Tesla, the company he built into an electric vehicle (EV) juggernaut. What was once a symbol of cutting-edge ingenuity is now struggling to maintain its footing, caught between Musk's polarizing persona and a world that's rethinking its appetite for Tesla's ambitious offerings. The Cybertruck, Tesla's futuristic all-electric battery-powered light-duty truck, epitomizes this struggle. Unveiled with fanfare as a rugged, stainless steel marvel, it promised to redefine the automotive frontier. Yet, its reality has been far less triumphant. In the United States, nearly 7,000 units were recalled after their adhesive-secured trim panels, chosen over bolts to cut production costs, proved prone to flying off at high speeds, turning a sleek design choice into a safety fiasco. Across the pond, Europe has all but slammed the door shut. The UK impounded one for its dangerously sharp edges, violating pedestrian safety laws, while Ireland's narrow roads and strict weight limits render it impractical. Australia rejected it outright for its unyielding exoskeleton, a hazard to wildlife in a crash, and China's pedestrian safety rules make it a non-starter in the world's biggest EV market. Even in the outback, where Tesla might pitch adventure, sparse charging stations leave it vulnerable to stranding. The Cybertruck's global rejection isn't just a logistical hiccup. It's a stark sign that Tesla's audacious engineering is clashing with practical realities and regulatory frameworks worldwide. These setbacks are bleeding into Tesla's bottom line and brand equity. In the US, sales slumped 5% in 2024 and another 11% in early 2025, while rivals like Hyundai and Ford surge ahead, capitalizing on a market where only 20% of EV buyers lean Republican, a demographic Musk's political pivot increasingly caters to, at the expense of broader appeal. In Europe, the damage is even more pronounced. January 2025 saw 45% sales plunge, fueled by labor disputes in Scandinavia and a growing consumer aversion to Musk himself, with 59% of UK buyers shunning Tesla over his antics rather than its products. Once a green tech icon, Musk's attacks on EU policies and alignment with nationalist figures have eroded the trust that fueled Tesla's rise. Supply chain woes, exacerbated by Trump's tariffs, further strained production, hiking battery costs and slowing output just as Chinese EV brands and European giants like Volkswagen gain ground. Tesla's challenge now is existential. Can it reclaim its mantle as an innovator for all, or will Musk's larger-than-life gambits drag it into a niche corner, outpaced by a world moving on?